We're a near-term producer of gold and silver in the Cobar Basin, one of the richest mining provinces in Australia, in New South Wales in Australia. We have existing processing infrastructure. We have all our mining approvals. And at the same time, we also own a large vanadium-rich iron sands project, which is located offshore of the Taranaki Bight. So it's off the North Island of New Zealand. Fast track application has been lodged. So just as a quick brief, there was a new coalition government came into power. They have legislated fast track mining approvals. We have a mining approval already granted, but we've taken this opportunity to go through this process and hasten the final steps. So we lodged our application 15 April. It's been accepted, and the empanelment is already underway. So they're now selecting the panel to hear our project. A standard disclaimer, it's on our website. I'm going to keep moving ahead. So as I say, about Manuka Resources, we are an ASX-listed mining operator, and then we're also a developer and an explorer. We have 3 projects, and our core focus is to bring all 3 of these projects into production in the near term. All of them have mining leases if it's an Australian project, or in New Zealand, they have what they call an MMP, which is a mining and minerals permit. Those are all already granted. I'll talk about our silver, Warner silver project first. And this is the only production-ready primary silver reserve in Australia. So a reserve is the highest certainty of geological medical classification. It's 90 kilometers south of Cobar. We have an existing plant. It's a 1 million ton per annum plant. I'll show you a picture of the plant later on. It's a standard leaching process and was in production up until February 2024. The moment it's on care and maintenance. We have an existing plant infrastructure, mine camp, office infrastructure, and so on. And now with the high silver price, this supports the restart of mining. 10 to 12 million dollars, Australian dollars, of processing improvements are required. And the initial mine life, I'm saying, is greater than 5 years. We are about to announce an updated silver reserve. Normally, when mining companies release updated reserves, there's obviously more good news to discuss. We haven't announced this yet. It's due for release next week, and it'll show a substantial increase in mine life as well. The Mount Boppy Gold Project, this is a brownfields gold mine. It's been in production previously. It's produced 500,000 ounces of gold at 15 grams per ton. That equates to almost half an ounce of gold per ton of ore. Very rich for a mining project. This is very near Cobar as well, 50 kilometers to the east. And again, we will be looking to source production will come from feedstock, which is on historical dry tailings from rock dumps, and then we have some future pits as well. There is a capital cost of $15 million if we're going to restart the mine with a plant at Mount Boppy. Alternatively, we can just haul the ore to Warner, and there'll be no capital cost there. There'll be a transport cost. It equates to 25 Australian dollars per ton, but no capital cost at this stage. And then we have the Taranaki, our VTM, our vanadium titanomagnetite project. This is really in its own right a company making iron sands project. There's a 3.2 billion ton vanadium titanium magnetite resource. There's a mining permit that's been granted, which allows 5 million tons per annum of mining. It was included in the legislation. The government's fast track legislation noted this project in Part B of the legislation. Our application so far has been lodged, has been accepted. We expect the final approvals in Q3 of this year. And the cash flows from our precious metals projects is anticipated supporting the completion of the feasibility study for this, the bankable feasibility study for this project. So the Cobar Basin is home to a number of Australia's highest richest mining companies. We've got polymetals. Let me just identify our projects highlighted in red. I'm not sure if you can see my cursor running around, but on the left-hand side of the page, we have the Winter Silver Project and our tenements, which extend for over 1,000 square kilometers. And then on the smaller on the in the center of the page is the Mount Boppy, the gold project. You can see at the top of the page around 11 o'clock, the Endeavour mine. This has recently restarted again, a very prospective lead, zinc, silver project. It's about 2 kilometers deep and still going. Metals Acquisition Corp is one of the richest copper mines in Australia. It was purchased recently, 2 years ago, from Glencore for $1.1 billion US. Again, 2 kilometers deep, and they're still mining. Just below it, the Aurelia company, Aurelia Metals Limited. They own the Peak and the New Cobar mines, and the Peak gold mine is 1 kilometer deep. And the reason I keep going on about the depth of these other mines is both our projects are still very shallow. So great potential, great exploration potential. The Winter silver mine is only 60 meters deep, and the Mount Boppy gold mine is down to 200 meters. The previous old timers took it down to 200 meters. We're down to about 120 meters at this point in time. So the silver project, this is a strategic asset for us. It's the only silver reserve in the country. It's a very much a conventional crush grind leach elution circuit. We've got 4 pits in total. 2 of the pits have been opened. We've got 2 pits further to go. We were producing silver from Manuka as late as in 2022, and then more recently have used the plant to process the Mount Boppy gold ores. There is a JORC mineral resource of 38 million tons for a total of 51 million ounces of silver. As mentioned, we have a reserve update that is due out. Previously, there was the 4.8 million tons for 8.5 million ounces of silver. There will be a very positive increase on that coming through. As I say, that's scheduled to come through next week. This is the older numbers, which was forecasting cash flows, operating cash flows of $179 million, and I look forward to presenting my new reserve once it's ready from next week. This is the infrastructure, the silver mine, the plant on the left-hand side of this slide. Over $120 million was invested in that plant when constructed in 2011, 2012. Plenty of scope to increase. The current capacity is 1 million tons per annum, so it's a a tier 1 asset in the basin. And then the slide on the right doesn't really do justice. It's just meant to show it's got a little bit distorted from the scale, but it is only 60 meters deep. And I'll show you a slide further on which highlights the exploration potential of this project. So this slide shows in red is our silver project. Our silver resource is highlighted in red, goes down to 60 meters. The Cobar Basin, as mentioned, is well known for copper gold projects and lead zinc silver projects. And we have conducted a proof of concept drill program beneath the red zone into deeper zones, and have come up with very strong readings of lead and zinc plus silver. And so once we finish this project, we'll simultaneous to mining the silver, we will be furthering the exploration potential beneath our Winter Silver project. Our Mount Boppy Gold Project. Historically, this was one of the richest gold mines in New South Wales. It started in 1895 with the old timers with a shaft and tunnel structured project. There is a lot of infrastructure on site. There's a mine camp. The environmental approvals are in place and potential to extend this further. This is the slide of the mine site, and you can see the main rock dump in the middle on the left. There's an evaporation dam, and then Boppy South and the open pit, which at the moment has some water in it. That gets removed quite easily. We're on the edge of a spring which continues to pump water into the pit. It's never been a problem for us. The old timers in 1895 to 1925, when they were mining this project, they took it down to a depth of 200 meters. What we've been able to do is we've just drilled and blasted this area 120 meters deep at this point, and just basically been extracting all the gold that they left behind. So between April 2020 and February 2022, Manuka mined 560,000 tons of ore from the pit, and that recovered 41,000 ounces of gold. What remains in the pit at this stage is 233,000 tons of what remains that we know of it. So this is just what's been drilled in the pit, is 233,000 tons of ore grading 4 grams per ton of gold. So that's about 30,000 ounces of gold still remains in the existing pit skeleton, the pit shell that is highlighted on that slide. I'm not sure if you can see the darker green lines. I should have made these drill holes a bit darker, but these are the targets for us going forward. This type of mineralization in Cobar is known as a Cobar cigar, a cigar, and essentially that indicates a zone of intense mineralization, and our geologists internally at Manuka are convinced that we have 2 or 3 or 4 of these that are trending further, deeper, in line with the standard normally the deeper Cobar structures. They expect us to find another 2, 3, 4 of these as we drill deeper going forward. That'll be very exciting if that is the case. So moving now on to our Taranaki VTM, Vanadium Titanomagnetite project. Again, this is 100% owned by Manuka Resources, and it's a sea-based project, but this is not deep sea mining. Very important to note that even though this is you can see on the slide on the left, there's a pink line. This is the territorial waters, the 12 nautical mile line. So within that area, that's New Zealand territorial waters, and outside that pink line is the exclusive economic zone that's allocated to New Zealand by the United Nations. The extent of our tenements, they straddle both inside and outside the 12 nautical miles, but the mining permits that have been granted are the areas highlighted in blue outside. So this shouldn't be sensitive to New Zealand. It's outside their territorial waters. It's in very shallow water, between 20 to 50 meters of water. And coincidentally, there are companies that have been mining these sands, or dredging these sands off the beaches, directly onshore from where we are. They've been mining these sands for the last 30 years. This is being set up very much as an industrial park. This is the Kupi, the gas pipeline. It's in operation. There are a number of wind farm applications and petroleum applications that are going through at the moment. being considered at the moment. And our project, the mining permits were granted for our project back in 2014. And then they've been subject to a challenge, which we're now getting to the end of the challenge. And certainly this fast track legislation will facilitate that going forward. The fast track bill became law in New Zealand late December 2024. And on 16th of May, we received our confirmation that our application had been fully accepted, and it now awaits details from the assessing panel. And the important thing is the project has the ability to materially contribute to New Zealand's government objective. Their objective, they look across the water, across the Tasman Sea to Australia with multi-billion revenues from mining exports. New Zealand's target for the by 2035 is our mineral exports of only $3 billion. And quite frankly, this project can contribute. That's 3 billion New Zealand dollars, not even US dollars. And interestingly, this project will contribute over a third of that target once granted. We have recently released an updated pre-feasibility study. This came out a couple of months ago, 26th of March, and the numbers from that are very sound, as I'll demonstrate in the next slide. So MPV10 is 1.26 billion US dollars. There's a 3.2 billion ton mineral resource. There's going to be a 20-year mine life on its current permits, but there's extensive tenements, so that can be increased further. The core product will be just short of 5 million tons, 4.9 million tons per annum of a 57% iron ore. It's a very low cost. The cost of production is $27 US, 27.20 US per ton, and this excludes any co-projects, co-product credits. On top of the, VTM is vanadium. We have 0.5% vanadium in our project. We have 8.5% titanium in the project, and then there's 57% iron ore. We are not, in our numbers at the moment, we are not including any of the co-product credits, just the iron ore. Project capex is quite substantial. It's 602 million US dollars. That will be too big for Manuka to chew. So obviously we're in discussions now with strategic and we're actively looking for a strategic partner is probably more appropriate. But this has been deemed by the New Zealand government to be a project of national significance. Further features of the project in the bottom quartile of the global iron ore cost curve. The VTM, I've mentioned that the concentrate grade is a 0.5% vanadium pentoxide, 8.5% titanium dioxide, and a 57% iron ore. It's a 3.2 billion ton JORC resource. And it's also estimated to be in the lowest quartile of CO2 emitters for iron ore producers. So that's because there's no drill and blast, it's purely a vessel with a seabed-based vacuum cleaner, which will suck up the sand. The sand will go over a magnetic separator. It's a black sand at the moment. The magnetics will attract. The magnetics are represented in black in the sand. They will be attracted to the magnetic separator, and we'll put back a whitened sea sand. And I know when people think about mining, they always think, oh, that's just a story too far. But genuinely, this product that goes back is an improved medium. There's no kelp forest, nothing grows in these black sands at the moment. The New Zealand EPA, which is one of the toughest EPAs in the world, have deemed that the project will fully rehabilitate itself within 2 years. So that's all the return of any microorganism activity, any benthic at that stage will be back within a maximum 2-year period. Corporate summary. I mean, I firmly believe that our company with these assets has to be one of the cheapest companies or the cheapest company on the ASX at the moment. Total number of shares outstanding, 810 million. Share price is 3.5 cents. Gives us a market capitalization of just less than $30 million. Yeah, the board and management own 16% of the company. We do have some debt we've got to refinance at the moment. So the senior secured debt is $19 million is owed to a Hong Kong lender, and then on top of that, there's a trade finance facility and some creditors. But we're working through all those issues at this point. Because now is the time to bring it back. We've just completed our silver reserve, and I've already mentioned that, obviously. A share price catalyst is the continued strength in gold and silver markets, the refinance of our debt facility. We see a secure non-dilutive funding will take place, which will support the restart of production. I'll go on about the near-term production of silver and gold of Warner Winter and Mount Boppie. This, will be the only primary producer of silver in Australia. There'll be and then there'll be further progress on the Taranaki VTM project. Board and management. I purchased these assets back in 2016 and assisted to list the company. Alan Eggers is interesting. He's the fellow who's executive chairman of Trans-Tasman Resources, the New Zealand project. He's done this sort of thing before. He founded a company called Summit Resources in 1987, and he grew that from nothing into a takeover target by Paladin Energy for 1.2 billion. And he sees this very much in the similar light. John Seton is an Auckland-based lawyer. He's been involved in mining.
I'm sorry to stop you there, but we ran already out of time. Maybe you can wrap it up once more with why would you or why should anyone invest, and just give the key points, and then I'm sorry, but we have to move on to the next presentation.
Matthias, I do apologize for the slow start. Let me quickly finish this off. Summary, near-term production of gold and silver. Gold has obviously made an all-time high. Silver hasn't yet made its all-time high. Silver is very high. It's an all-time high in Aussie dollars term, but not in US terms. We have fully approved mine plan. Will be in production soon. And then we have on top of it the company maker vanadium iron sands project, which is due for final approvals over the next 3 months. Thank you very much for your time.